So, well, let's start this interview. Diego, how do you feel? How are you feeling today?
Hello, fine. I have to say thank you for letting me be part of this beautiful program and the American space. You have gave me a lot of opportunities to show things that I want to show to people. So thank you for all of this stuff, and I am really happy to be here. Kind of nervous because this is the first time I will explain something related to photography in English. So be patient. But I feel great. So thank you for this opportunity.
Very, very excited. As the people, well, when you are watching this, you know that in the American space, Catherine Johnson, we like to highlight a lot of the talents that we have in our region, which is in Lecheria. And we have done many interviews and programs live in order to benefit all of the community of viewers of our social media. Remember, you can follow us on Instagram on Instituto IFISA. We also have a YouTube channel, IFISA Online, and this is going to be recorded and be posted on our Facebook page, IFISA. So, well, let's start with our first question, Diego. You know, last week I was having a talk with the Conversational Club at the American Space, and we were watching that some very famous photographers, and we noticed that there are some photographers that focus more on landscapes, some others do portraits, some others are more into texture, etc. So my question is, every photographer is different from others. I would like to know what kind of photography do you enjoy more doing?
Well, certainly there are too many ways to take pictures like landscapes or portraits. But I consider that I am this kind of photographer who love to take a lot of pictures of whatever and wherever. So I don't have a specific type of photography I like the most. And I really like the improvisation. I really like to go out with a model and just start to take pictures and think about what could be better. So if I would have to define what kind of photographer I am, I define myself like this kind of photographer who takes a lot of pictures and then he see what he has. So this is exactly what the the kind of photographer I am.
That's awesome. I think that, well, this is something that I have noticed that when somebody enjoys something so much, it's like an evolution. Maybe you are still trying to encounter or discover what is that thing that you want to focus. So this leads us to my next question. Um, when you have had the opportunity to take pictures, what it is more important for you? Is it or what do you put your focus on more when you take a picture?
Well, continuing with the first question, before us answering this one, yes, of course. When we take picture and we have a lot of time taking picture, we notice what pictures we can take better. For example, I consider that my best pictures are the ones I take like portraits. But I don't really like to focus on that because I know that I can do it, and I would like to know how to do any other type of photographies and stuff. So yes, this is the first idea. And asking the second question, the thing that is the most important for me when I'm taking picture is definitely uh, what I want to show in the picture. Because if we go and take pictures without thinking about what you want to show, then you just have a photo about something that is in the picture, and that's all. But the message is the most important thing that we have to think about when we go and take pictures. And this is very important not only when we think about this about photography like a type of art. This is very important when we work with this, because many photographers actually on a concept when they take pictures, and this is very useful to campaigns, for marketing campaigns and stuff. So, and also when we want to explain our feelings or how we see something special through a picture. So the message, I think, this is the most important aspect of a photography for me.
I would like to know a little bit more about how did this hobby or passion, let's call it passion, start in you? How did it start? When did you discover that you wanted to be a photographer?
Well, this is kind of funny because I remember that when I was younger, when I was a child, I used to see the pictures that the family's picture that everybody has in their houses. And I remember that I used to see the photos of my family once and twice and every days. And also I remember that I used to see with not with cameras and stuff. I used to just capture pictures in my head, in my brain, watching from different sides. I don't know if this makes sense. And okay, to make sure the story, when I was like 16 years old, I went to El Moro in Lecheria with a friend of mine, and we had a camera of and we just went and took a lot of pictures of us, like models and photographers and stuff, and I really enjoyed that. And then we started to do it more uh, like every single weekend after school and after working and stuff. And I just felt in love with this type of art. And now I consider that those days when I used to take pictures with my friends were the fact that made me decide and made me to decide that I wanted to be photographer. And of course, I always loved the movies and stuff, and I used to see how the frames and directors create the movies and stuff, and all that is something that made me also decide to be photographer. But I think the biggest thing or the most important thing is those days when I used to take pictures with my friends.
That's a nice story, Diego. I really like it. I like that it started as something that you did for fun, to have fun with your friends. I love that you had discovered something fun, but then you took it more seriously. I know that you have a beautiful talent as a photographer. And that's why maybe you would like to explain a little bit about the vocabulary that is common for people that use a camera. So, how would you explain this vocabulary, Diego?
Okay, so as I was explaining, the first thing that compose the exposure triangle is the ISO. The ISO is basically the tool to set up the sensibility of the sensor of the camera sensor to the light. As I mentioned before, the light is the most important aspect when we take a picture, because basically a photo is something composed by light. So we can use this to increase the quality of a picture and make it we use this with darker scenes. Basically the ISO is to improve the quality of a picture, and when we are in dark scenes, for example, I don't know, in the night, we just increase the amount of the ISO to have a better quality in the picture. But this we have to work with the other aspects of the exposure triangle, because if we increase too much the ISO, we have rhythm in the picture, we have like these short small points when we take a picture and we don't have enough light. So the second part of the exposure triangle is the aperture. Basically, the aperture is no more than a hole that is the sensor of the camera has. So we can make it we can make it small or big depending on what we want to have in the picture. And this basically is to see how much you want to see of the background in a photo. For example, let me share with you my screen. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna use one of my pictures to explain. To have this effect. This effect is called bokeh. Is when we don't see anything in the background and we just see the object or the principal object in the picture. And also we can have this. This is basically I made the smaller, and in this way I could show every single part of the background in this picture. Okay, the last one is basically the shutter speed. The shutter speed is no more than how fast we want to make the camera take or capture the photo. This is used when to have a specific effect that we can well, I would like to show it with a picture of mine. Okay, with this tool we can have effects like this. This is a long exposure. We can have this effect with the lowest shutter speed. And this is basically showed by, for example, we have a second and we break this second in a lot of pieces, and that's how the the speed of the shot is gonna be. For example, a second broken in 5 pieces. So this is the speed of the shot that we are going to have when we take the picture. And the opposite of this is to make the the speed the most slow possible, the slowest way. Um, what we have with this is basically movement. We can capture the movement of things through the picture. In this case, this is sunrise, and I got this picture with my phone, and I just put the shutter speed in like 15 seconds. I had to put my phone in a place, uh, and that's how I got this effect. And the opposite is basically to have for do not have any movement in the picture. Basically is when we click on the button to take the picture, we open the sensor of the camera. So the shutter speed is basically the time uh, in that the sensor of the camera is gonna be open. The most, if we make this time longer, we are going to have more light in the picture. And the opposite of this, if we have this sensor open for a short time, we have less light in the picture. So the result of this is basically the movement or the what happened in that specific time when we have the sensor open. And of course,
Oh, okay, okay. I see.
the
I see. I
exposure
see.
triangle works in this way. If we have ISO, shutter speed, and if we have the ISO, the shutter speed, and the aperture, and this is just to set up the light that we are going to have in the picture. As we can see, these tools are related, or this tool to the light, or works with the light. So when we take a picture with a short time, with a very fast shutter speed, we won't have enough light, and maybe the picture is going to be dark. And so we can open the aperture, and so we can have more light in the picture, but we won't have visible the background. And so we have to play with all of these tools to get the results that we want to have. Of course, we can have effects with each of them, but any of them works alone. We have to use the all of them to have the results that we want to have when we take a picture.
That's a good knowledge for our viewers. Well, one thing is the ISO, the other is the aperture, and the other is the speed of shutter. That's amazing. Now, how about the techniques? Some basic techniques that you probably would know or would want our viewers to understand. I know one that is called the rule of thirds, but I don't know if our viewers have some background knowledge about this rule. So maybe you would like to explain some techniques that are most used for photographers.
The most common technique that we use as photographer is the rule of the thirds. Basically, to explain this better and easily, imagine that we have an image and um, we cut this image in 9 fragments divided by two lines, two horizontal lines and two vertical lines. So the rule says that we have to position the most important aspect in the photo along the lines or uh, where the lines intersect among them. So we can see here in the PDF an example of this. Could you show it, please? Okay, so we have this frame or this guide. Basically, we have to position the element, the most important element of the picture along the lines or where they intersect. Here we have a picture and the most important element is the building, and the person who took the picture tried to position this building along the vertical line and between the points, and on the points where the lines intersect among them.
All right. I see the pointing here. I think this is one of the most basic techniques for for taking a good picture, because it's not just putting the main object in the middle, but trying to put it in the way or where the intersection of this line is. I think that's a good technique.
Yes,
Is there
exactly.
any other
This is
technique,
the
Diego?
um, yes, this is the most basic technique that we have in photography, because this is to have a great frame in the picture, but also we have the leading lines, and the leading lines is basically to guide the eye in the picture, and in this way we can show what we want to show, and we can focus the person who is looking at the picture uh, exactly where we want to get this focus on. For example, I have here a picture on my Instagram. Okay, I will try to show it.
Okay, show it.
Okay, I have here this picture. Okay, so this picture is basically one that I took with a phone. This is just an experiment that I had, and basically we can see the lines that are conformed, are made by the buildings, and we can see um, how the eye is positioned on the biggest building, and then we can see or we can be leading by the lines that I took in the picture. Does this make sense?
Yeah, yes, it makes sense. Actually, the first thing that the viewer can see is the big building, the one that is in the front. So I think
Yes,
that the
exactly.
rule applied here. Yes.
Yes, exactly. The rule is basically to guide the eye of the person who is looking at the picture. So keeping this in mind, we can capture a photo that works perfectly to show what we want to show in the picture.
Yes, yes,
And
totally.
this will help to show how beautiful is the space that you are capturing through the photo. And the first rule I explained is more to use it for more common photos like portraits and stuff.
Okay, okay, okay. Got it, got it. Well, there are many other techniques. I don't know if you want to mention another technique that you have in your pictures as an example. Maybe one of diagonal lines, or I don't know, maybe contrast, or
Well, there are too many techniques that we have as photographers or in photography. And there is one that I don't have an example in my Instagram, but it's very useful when we take pictures of products. I would like to explain this for these people that have like entrepreneurships. Is basically when we want to take a picture of a product to sell it or to show it in social media or whatever, if this product is uh, small, or yeah, if this product is small, we have to have three of them in the picture. So this is a rule that we have to keep in mind when we take pictures of products. For example, if you have an apple and you want to sell the apple through a picture, or you want to make the apple um, visual beauty. Well, if you want to make the apple beautiful in the picture, we have to use two more. We have to use two more apples and position one of them in the front of the image, and the other ones in the backside. So this is a way to focus the eye of the person who's looking at the picture on the product. This is very simple, but very useful when we work with product photography. I really like to use it, and I don't like to take pictures of products, but this is what I use when I do it. So for those that have entrepreneurships and you sell products, rule when you take a picture of your product to sell it or to show it in social media.
well, that's honestly a good tip. I think that the tip that you just gave us works because it is a balance that you are creating in the picture. It's not only about one item, but about a series of them. You make a set
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
same item.
Yeah, exactly. This is a balance.
Yeah.
When we take picture, we have to keep in mind that if you don't have a balance in the picture, in the photo, maybe it doesn't matter if you take a landscape or a portrait. If you don't have a balance, then you don't have a good picture, because the idea of taking a photo is make the if making the person who's watching to the picture enjoy enjoy the photo quickly. So there is a technique that we have in the PDF for landscapes that basically says that if we keep in mind this rule, the person is going to enjoy the picture in the fastest way. And tool is more for landscapes. This is basically to make the person who is watching to the picture enjoy the faster the picture. The way in that we have this is showing really quickly every single part of the picture, every single element that we have in the photo. So this spiral basically help us to show quickly what we want to show in the photo. And as I mentioned before, this is very difficult. And this is an advanced technique, but basically the idea of this is to show every single part of the photo quickly, so the eye can focus on any of the elements that we have.
I see, I see. I think it's very, very good. I mean, the photo looks amazing. But as I'm not an expert, I think that it looks pretty similar to the one of the rule of thirds that we just discussed. For me, it looks
Yeah,
similar,
exactly. Yeah,
but
this is pretty
maybe you
similar
as a
to
photographer can
that
see
one,
more
and
the
the
difference.
leading lines. Yeah, this is pretty similar to the leading lines also, because the idea of this is to guide the eye of the person. So up here, the part of the picture where the lines are smallest is where the most important aspect of the photo is.
You. Maybe you would like to tell us the story of a picture that has been very difficult for you to create.
Well, this is kind of funny. I haven't done pictures like really, really difficult. Or a short picture I posted in on Instagram. This is the photo. Let me show.
Okay.
Okay, this one. Okay, here we have a picture with a big contrast. The difficult part of this picture is the fact that when we took this picture at the office and we wanted to and it was like I don't know, 5 p.m. The sunset was almost done, so I had to get in my car and drive so fast to El Morro, and we were losing all the light that we had, and I wanted to take this exactly this sunset because it was really beautiful in that moment. So the problem with this basically was the time that I had to take the picture. And also I have another one that which is this one. This one, we were in a risk. Literally, we were in a risk in a mountain. So I was in a rock on a rock, uh, really near to the risk, and I was almost falling. But we wanted to take exactly this picture in this way, so it was really dangerous, I think. And but basically these are the most difficult pictures I ever took, and not because of the concept and stuff. This is more because when we take pictures we always have to get out of our comfort zone. So when we do this we can have results, better results. And when we are like artists, I don't like to talk about me in that way, but when we are like artists, we always want what we cannot have, and we do whatever we can to get it because we want it. So sometimes we don't see the problems or the risks, and then we have these results. So this is basically the most difficult picture I ever took because my life was in a very difficult moment when I was taking the picture. But I think I got the result I wanted, and that's the point of taking photos.
Well, I think that it is about time that you feel comfortable telling yourself you are an artist, because being a photographer and the photography is an art. So calling yourself an artist, that's okay. But I would like to highlight something that you said. It would have been a tragedy if you had fallen that cliff.
Yes, it was almost falling, and I was with my friend of mine. The guy in the picture is exactly the guy that the friend of mine that started with me in this art. So we are always doing crazy things to take pictures that we want and stuff. And when we are in this mood, it's very difficult to see the problems. We think that everything is possible.
Yes, yes, that's right. That's right. I love it. I love the picture. I think that the effort was worthy. So I congratulate you for taking that picture. Honestly. Now,
Thank you
um,
so much.
tell me a little bit about the editors that you use to edit your photos. Do you use any kind of editor?
Yes, I have. I use two programs, very famous. The first one, and the one that I use the most is Lightroom. With this platform, we can change, or we can work on every single part of the photo, and this is a platform that is focused on photographers. So this is very useful because I am this kind of photographer that think about the picture that is taking in the moment after editing, and I take the picture thinking about this, about how I'm gonna edit the picture, and this program helps me a lot when I am taking photos. And I am not the kind of photographer who use a lot of programs or edit a lot his photos. I prefer the photos more natural, but there is the other another program very useful. This is Photoshop. Everybody knows about Photoshop. I use this program to clean faces and to clean let's say aspects that I don't like of a photo I took or I take, and this is very useful. But also this program is very difficult to use. So if you're starting, I recommend to use a Lightroom. This is a very easy program. For the first time you will see a lot of buttons and options, and maybe this could be scary, but don't worry, this is really easy to use. Also we have Yesco, uh, and this one is for this is an app that we can have in our phones. This is very easy to use, and also we have a lot of filters there that we can use to take beautiful photos. And this is very useful when we are starting also. But yes, these are the programs I use: Photoshop and Lightroom. Sometimes I use VS Code because um, I don't take photos with my camera. I also take pictures with my phone, and when I want to edit something really fast, I use VS Code.
That's great. I think I've heard a lot about Photoshop. I think that's the most famous, but Lightroom is a good option too. That's great. And well, now
Yeah, because
talking about,
Lightroom
uh-huh,
is
yeah.
focused on photographers. Yeah, Lightroom is
Oh,
focused
okay,
on
okay.
photographers. Also, we can save our presets. The presets are the filters that we create in this in this program, and then we can use these filters, these presets for another session, photo sessions, and it's very useful to save time and to keep our line design or our colors in on social media, which is very important when we want to show our work, and more specific on Instagram.
That's well, those are very good uh, tips, tricks that our viewers need to know if they want to start in this art of photography. Diego, maybe there are people that are watching this Facebook Live and probably don't consider themselves photographers as you are, but would like to maybe experiment with the camera. Um, I think that for me, it's very valuable that a young person like you has started in this field. So my question right now is, would you recommend young people to study photography as their field of study? And why? Why would you recommend this to young people?
Well, I have to be honest about this. I don't want to talk about controversial topics, but here in our country, it's not a secret that this kind of art of or this kind of career is not like good paid. So what I recommend is that if you want to be photographer or if you want to study this, keep in mind that you have to do it if you really love this kind of art. And also we always have to to set up a plan B and plan C when we are thinking about our lives and also our professional lives. For example, I really since I started, I really wanted to be photographer and work as a photographer, and I got it. I have been working as a photographer for a long time, but I didn't study this at the university. I I say I start to create my portfolio, and then people start to ask me if I would like to work with them, if I take pictures for money. So when people started to asking me this, I I understood that I am photographer, but I didn't study this at the university, and this is a very beautiful aspect of this. We can be photographer even if we don't study this to English, but you don't have a diploma or a certification. You can show that you can speak English speaking and with an interview or whatever. So we can do the same with photography. We can just create a portfolio, put it on Instagram, Pinterest, any other social media platform, and if people like your job, if if people like your work, they are gonna ask you if you'd like work with them. But answering the question, I don't recommend to study this as a career, maybe here in Venezuela. But if you love this kind of art, you can do it. And there are too many, there are some universities that offer really good programs to study photography, such as Avecofa in the Monte Avila University in Caracas. They have a really good photography program, and there you can study a lot about this kind of art. And also, yes, you can this you can work this as a career. But I am the kind of person who thinks that even if you have talent, even if you want a lot to work as you want to do, for example, as a photographer, you just have to have a plan B. Always, we have to have a plan B. For example, in my case, I dedicated a lot of time to this, and now I am working some in my free times as a photographer. But I also studied English, and I am trying to start to study another language and another career related to photography, which is industrial design. And that's another aspect. You can study something related to this, and then you can add it to what you want or what you like. uh, so if you like this, then you can do it. But keep in mind that we have to work a lot to get our goals done.
That's a beautiful thought, and I really agree with you. I think that for a young person like you, a lot of young people in our country will probably say, "Well, maybe it's not worth it to study at the university," or "Well, we are having these economical and political situations that can constrain our dreams." But I think that thinking what you are saying about having a plan B, trying to prepare yourself in other skills and complement them with photography will always get you to be a good professional. The more skills you have, the
Yes.
better. So I really agree with you in that. I would like to finish or wrap it up with this interview. Um, Maybe you would like to uh, say if photography is something that would impact or have a good benefit on on the economical prosperity in communities and businesses. Do you think that photography can do that for an economy in our cities? Do you hear
Yes,
me? Okay.
tool that that we can use in in many aspects of our society. And photography is very important in business because we have to show what we have, and a picture says more than too many words, as people says. And also, this is very useful to show problems that we have as as a society. I remember that we we had a conversation about this in our conversation case, and there are too many stories about photographies that changed a lot the opinion of people about something. Also, photographers that showed big problems that we have in the world, such as the photos that have been running around the world by National Geographic, of the problems that have in people in Africa, also the problems that we have here in the manifestations and problems that we have here in Venezuela with the politics and this stuff. So yes, this is a powerful tool that we can use, and we have to keep in mind that if we are going to be photographers, or if we take a picture and you want to post it in social media, this could be change a lot of things that you maybe don't mind, or you don't have in mind when you are posting the picture. A very basic example of this is when someone take a picture of something really bad about a person that that could uh, that says that could make people to make bullying about of a person. This could be we can have this through a picture, and so this is what I want to say when I say that this is a very powerful tool, and if you don't use this correctly, we can have a lot of problems.
Yes, I agree with you. We need to be also responsible on what we publish on our social media, right? It's not just snapping the subject and that's it. I don't take any responsibility of it. Well, like any profession, we need to be very responsible about what we're doing. So I agree with you, Diego. And well, I think that we have get to the end of this interview. How do you feel? I think that you have explained a lot of photography, and I'm really glad that you accepted my invitation. I think that you did a good job. So thank you, Diego. And I hope that maybe in the future that, well, maybe next year, you can find something that leads you to the thing you want to do and that you are very, very sure about what you want to do. I really, really hope so. You have all the future on your hands, and it's just you're just creating it. So thank you so much, Diego.
Well, thank you so much for letting me be here at this interview. I really enjoyed this. As I mentioned before, I haven't explained anything about photography in English before, and it was really it was really beautiful, I think, because this is something that I love to do, and now I can say that I know about photography and I
Awesome. Well,
a
that's
lot of this.
great. Well, let's say goodbye, Diego. Let's say goodbye to our
Well,
audience. Maybe you
I
could
can
tell them your social media for them to follow you.
okay. Yes, you can follow me on Instagram as the Alex Pictures, and this is the platform I use the most. Right now, I am creating new content for this platform. So go ahead and follow me. You will see my work there, and I am working on something special that I would like to show on my Instagram. So the Alex guion bajo pictures.
Okay, that's the Alex at pictures. That's that would be the
Yes.
in English. Guión bajo. it's at. All right.
Yes.
Well, underscore. Sorry, underscore. This is something that I made a mistake. Underscore is guion bajo. The Alex
Ah, yeah,
underscore
underscore.
picture.
I forgot the word.
I also forgot it. Well, thank you for the audience who has been watching this Facebook Live, and thank you, Diego. I'll see you in another episode of our Facebook Live. Have a nice weekend, and well, we'll see you around. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. See you.